Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And members, I just want to make a few closing comments here, and I want to just go back a little bit and look at the general state of the state in regards to school trust lands. Many have described my interest in school trust lands as just a passion or a personal interest. And I want to make sure that you know today that it is more than just a passion. It is more than just a personal interest. My passion stems from what I have learned in studying the issue of school trust lands in the last 5 years. And what I learned is, first of all, is that every school child in this state has a trust fund. I had 15 years of experience in the world of education, and I did not even know that. And that trust fund is an inheritance that we promise to every child in this state, no matter how rich, how poor, no matter if they live in urban Minnesota or rural Minnesota, or the color of their skin, or their country of origin. They inherited this money and this fund from the founding fathers of this country 150 years ago. Now that I am a member of this body, I totally understand, which I did not before, that because of taking this oath of office, that I am a trustee to this trust fund. And I will fight every day of my life, which I have for the past 5 years, to make sure that every child in this state knows that they are the recipient of a trust fund in this state given to them by the founding fathers of this country. For 5 years, I have researched the way that we manage our lands, the revenue that's generated from the trust lands. I have combed through endless reports from the DNR, trying to understand how they expend the expenses against the trust fund. I am convinced that after 5 years of studying, I am convinced that we as state legislators are not meeting our trust obligations and our fiduciary responsibilities by allowing the DNR to solely manage the trust fund with no authentic oversight or accountability. I would like to just give a few examples, and please bear with me because you are the trustee and I want you to bring this information forward for the next 30 years. I don't ever want it to be lost again like it has been in the history of this body or this state. Let me remind you that sheet that Representative O'Driscoll handed out, the duties of a trustee. One of the primary duties of a trustee is that you need to act with undivided loyalty to the beneficiaries. There are no options in this. The beneficiaries need to drive the decisions. It has become very clear to me that the DNR has an inherent conflict of interest, and thus they cannot act with undivided loyalty. This is no fault of the DNR. It is the failure of the legislature. We have asked them to be the trustee, manage the lands, with a very focused mission and vision of their own. And their mission and vision is done very well, and they are very good at it. But they cannot act in undivided loyalty. And this has been expressed in different scenarios in the last 30 to 40 years, and now is time to take action. Members, the current system needs to be reformed. In 1905, we had something really proud to be proud of. Our fund was the highest performing fund in the United States. Now we are in the bottom third. And I just need everybody to know, people have often asked, what makes you think this model can work? And people love to just say, this is the Utah model. No, it isn't, members. It is, Minnesota is an outlier in the way that we manage our school trust lands. We allow the same entity to manage the state lands and the school trust lands, and yet allow them to charge us for their expenses. That is uncommon in the world of school trust lands. Minnesota is an outlier. The system needs to change, and it needs to change so that we can get a better return on the dollar. Many people have said, why don't we just have another audit report? And let me just say that we have had a 1981 audit report. We have had a 1998 audit report. We have had a Minnesota Constitutional Commission study the issues. And then we had an audit report in just 2010 that actually said the DNR continues to acquire more land at a rapid pace, and they have no long-term resources or plan to manage the land. So why can't we manage our own land then? The last thing that I would just like to touch on is, members, are we honoring our trust obligations? The school children hold 2.5 million surface acres, 1 million mineral acres, and they have a trust fund that has over $700 million in it. I believe that that level of land ownership warrants one trustee who will demonstrate undivided loyalty for the children of every day, for the children and working for them every day. I believe we need one person whose their sole responsibility to consistently evaluate and provide oversight to the management of the school trust lands and maximize the trust's fund and advocate on behalf of the beneficiaries of this state. We need to reduce costs, we need to increase revenue, we need land parcels of land assessed, possibly preserved or sold, we need creative solutions explored, we need recommendations to be discussed and potentially implemented. Without a trust director, this level of scrutiny will never happen in this state. So, in closure, the DNR continues to tell us that they're making progress and that we should be satisfied with that. But that has been going on for 30 years. Actually, longer than that. But members, I will contend that there are times when you cannot depend on what you are already doing to get better results. You need to do what you do differently. Today, House File 2244, we are proposing to do it differently. So when you push your button, just remember, you are acting on behalf of the school children of this state, and you are acting as the trustee, a person who makes major decisions about the trust fund. So with that, I ask you one more time, with undivided loyalty, please vote yes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.